To say that Marcus Aurelius had a stressful life would be a preposterous understatement. He ran the largest empire in the world. He had a troublesome son. He had a nagging and painful stomach issue. There was a palace coup led by one of his closest friends. There were rumors that his wife was unfaithful. The Parthians invaded the empire, triggering a war that lasted 5 years. The Antonine Plague struck in 165 AD and killed, by conservative estimates, more than 10 million people. Should we be surprised that he talks openly in meditations about his anxiety, about losing his temper, that he sometimes felt grinded down and exhausted by life? Of course he did. He had all our problems and more. He was besieged by stress. And yet this is exactly why he inspires us, because he conquered that stress, just like we can. Today I escaped my anxiety, he writes, or no, I discarded it because it was within me and my own perceptions, not outside. So how did he do it? What can he show us about slaying that demon of stress that we all suffer from? Turns out a lot. For starters, the fact that we even know about his anxiety is because of one of those strategies. It was in the pages of his journal that Marcus worked through his problems. Instead of letting racing thoughts dominate his mind and drive him crazy, he put them down on paper. It was also in these pages that Marcus prepared himself for difficulties in advance. He reminded himself that the people he was going to meet during the day would be troublesome. He reminded himself that things were not going to go perfectly. He reminded himself that getting angry never made things better. By taking the time to journal and write, he was chipping away at his anxiety, just as we all can, in the morning, at night, on our lunch break. Never. To calm his anxiety, Marcus was also constantly trying to get perspective. Sometimes he zoomed way out. He meditated on his insignificance. The infinity of past and future gapes before us, he wrote, a chasm whose depths we cannot see. So it would take an idiot to feel self-importance or distress. Other times he zoomed way in, telling himself to take things step by step, moment by moment. No one can stop you from that, he said. Concentrate like a Roman, he said, on what's in front of you, like it's the last thing you're doing in your life. Don't worry about what's happened in the past or what might happen in the future. And this idea of being present was key to overcoming his stress. We are often anxious because of what we fear will happen next, or after what happens next. We worry about worst-case scenarios. We dread potential obstacles. But Marcus, from Epictetus, knew that man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. And that's why Marcus Aurelius spent so much time trying to be present, reminding himself to return to the present moment where nothing is novel or hard to deal with, or familiar and easily handled. Like all busy people, Marcus Aurelius had a million things going on. But he also knew that much of what people expected of him, or even that he found himself focusing on, was not important or necessary. So to reduce stress, he tried hard to separate the essential from the inessential. If you seek tranquility, he said, do less. But then he makes a critical clarification. He says, or more accurately, do what's essential, because most of what we say and do is not essential. If you can eliminate that, he said, you'll have more time. Was there stuff he had to do that he did not want to do? Of course, that's life, which is why he and all of us have to practice acceptance. That's all we need, he said, willing acceptance in every moment. He said, you can scream until you're blue and curse the world as if the world would notice, or you can accept the obstacle and work with what you're given. But ultimately, Marcus worked hard to be a good friend to himself. He was firm and strong and self-disciplined. He knew that it was inevitable that he would mess up. We all do. The key, he said, is to just focus on getting back on track. Don't dwell. Don't call yourself an idiot. No, he said, get back up when you fail. Celebrate behaving like a human. Or, when jarred unavoidably by circumstances, he said, revert at once to yourself and don't lose the rhythm more than you can help. He said, you'll have a better grasp of harmony if you can keep going back to this. It would be wonderful if none of this was necessary, if life was easy, if things always went right. That's not possible. Stress is an inevitable part of life. But if stress is an inevitability, anxiety and anger and worry are not. Marcus believed that these things were a choice. that we could work past them, that we could discard them, as he said, because they are within us, or at least up to us. We can slay our stress because it's not an external enemy. It is an inner battle. And of course, I also suggest you check out our Slay Your Stress Challenge that we're doing at Daily Stoic. It's 12 days of Stoic wisdom inspired to help you conquer your anxiety, your worry, your fears, your frustrations, your depression, all the things that the Stoics dealt with, that we deal with here in modern life. You can check it out. It's something I've been working on using myself. We've melded in some of the best insights from modern psychiatry and psychology. We've looked at characters from history and literature. We've put together what are a number of invaluable, actionable strategies that will help you manage your stress, get perspective, stop sweating the small stuff, feel some peace, feel good about yourself, and of course, do what you need.